Welcome to the Grapefully Yours Wine Podcast. I'm Jim Campanini, co-host of the show, with my good friend, the wine butler, Michael Pigeon.
Good morning, James.
Michael, how you doing?
I'm doing okay.
How's your summer going?
Oh, dog days are set in. It's hot and heavy, but back to school, believe it or not, before you know it.
Because you've had a lot of beach days going up with your wife to vacation, New Hampshire, and the beaches. Yeah.
Sun for her, shade for me. I don't.
Yeah. What have you been drinking? A lot of good stuff.
Yeah, water and vitamins. She got me some of this vitamin water there. It's supposed to be because it has a nice taste to it. But, it's not a day. I like red wines, but can't get into it right now with 90 degrees, 94. It's a little.
You know who created vitamin water, made millions off it, and now has one of the best stables, horse stables in thoroughbred racing in America?
Yeah.
Mike Rapoli.
Rapoli?
He's got some of the best horses and good trainer, Todd Pletcher and stuff. He's up at Saratoga. I'll see him.
Yeah, you're going up
in a
there.
week. Yep. It should be a great trip. Looking forward to it and stuff.
Now, you always have a nice red wine or two with your great meals.
Oh yeah, we go to the Wishing Well restaurant up there, and the Casino Morton's at the casino, and then we got our favorite little Italian place, Mama's, right there in Saratoga Springs. We go back there every year, So it's fun night. So today's show, we're coming to you from the InsideLowell studios in downtown Lowell. And our podcast is coming to you from WellPoint Studios. WellPoint, the only health plan offering healthcare benefits exclusively to Massachusetts GIC members. At WellPoint, your whole health is their whole point. And they know at WellPoint that a good red wine is good for your health.
Good for your health.
And you drink it in moderation. I just had my annual physical with Dr. Dmitry Sedakov at Riverside Medical. Great guy. He's vacationing now with his family in Bulgaria. He's originally from Bulgaria, but he was educated here. He's been in the country for years. He's been my doctor for 15 years. He's an exceptional man, doctor, and he just took up the game of golf. And you know what that means? He's increased his wine consumption since he took up golf. But he gave me a great report, all the blood tests and everything. My blood pressure was.
I don't need to know.
He said, Jim, you're doing everything right. I said, I'm probably going to walk out of here today and drop dead in the parking lot. He started laughing. He says, well, it won't be because of this. He says, you'll probably get struck by lightning. But anyway, I hope he's enjoying himself. But let's get to the wine.
Right.
So a couple of weeks ago, Mike and I went on an expedition to a couple of stores, and we went to Costco and we found a nice selection of wines. But the one that really intrigued me was this Cabernet Sauvignon, 10 to Life. Okay, the theme you can see, it looks like it's Al Capone's mugshot there. You can't see his eyes, right?
Yeah.
But
full lips, the nose.
So 10 to Life, a prisoner theme. You remember the Prisoner Wine Company? I thought, they're still in business and they do a pretty good job. They've got 3 or 4 different wines based on that theme. But I thought this was a part of it, maybe a new wine, but it's not. It's from the Precision Wine Company, which was started by Trevor Sheehan. He's the owner and also the winemaker. And it's a Cabernet Sauvignon, 95% Cabernet Sauvignon from the Alexander Valley in Sonoma County. I mean, that's one of the best places for Cabernet Sauvignon grapes in Sonoma County. Its borders right with Napa Valley, so it's like you could call it a Napa Valley wine. So it intrigued me, and then I looked it up when I did some research after we bought it because I said, gee, 1999 for Cabernet Sauvignon from California. I mean, you look at the prices, right?
Yeah, off the charts.
Yeah, off the charts, and the wine was rated pretty well. Wine Enthusiast gave it 89 points. 𝐁𝐮𝐭𝐥𝐞 gave it 90 points, and so it's pretty consistent. And it had a great review on Vivino. I don't know if you you go on there for that app, and Cellar Tracker, which I have not only the public Cellar Tracker app. I also have the paid Cellar Tracker app where I can register all my wines in my cellar and chart it and stuff. So got a pretty good review. So we haven't even tried. You can see the corkscrews right in the bottle. It just opened up this morning. So we're going to try it because, a lot of friends say, hey, Jim, I grill and everything. What's a good Cabernet? And they have parties and stuff, and we've been featuring different ones throughout the summer and stuff. So I figured, hey, it's going to start getting a little cooler. I know it's hot this week and stuff, but good Cabernet with grilled meats, barbecued meats, you can't beat it. You can't beat it. So Mike said he got his palate. Mike got that's Cabernet. Now, there's 5% Cabernet Franc in this, according to the latest sheet on this, and 95% Cabernet. So we're going to put this through the. Be careful, Mike, with that. Wait a minute, you got that?
Yep.
So here's the bottle, 10 to life. Now, interesting thing about Precision Wine Company, Trevor Sheehan, who's got a Hollywood background. Both his mother and father made movies in Hollywood. The father was a writer. I think he did some directing. His mother did a lot of commercials and ads and stuff. So they were famous, but he took a different path. Instead of going to Hollywood, he went to France, got interested in wine, worked there for many years, graduated college, but he kept getting drawn back to wine. He started his own winery. He was selling wine out of his car. Okay, and in California, going to winery to winery and selling a Chardonnay that he made on his own. Then he eventually started his own winery, Precision Winery. And a couple of years ago, he, I think it was 2 years ago, sold out to the Navigator Wine Collection, which is a larger company with about 10 labels. And so he's now under that umbrella with Navigator. If you've seen Navigator Cabernet Sauvignon, it sells for about $35 a bottle, up to $35. You can get it. I've seen it marketed sometimes for $27.99 on sale. A very good wine, consistently in the low 90s for ratings from different services. Very, very good. So he's in good company. So what do you think?
I was just thinking,
Ooh, nice.
10
nice
to
wine.
Life. That would have been a good name for a wine for the people at home. 19 Crimes, The Prisoner.
Well,
10 to Life would have been fit right in there.
But here's the thing. So I go on this is a 2021 Cabernet, and I go online to find more information. There's some stories about Trevor Sheehan and his background and stuff, but I really had to mine the internet to find out the data sheet. There was really nothing about the wine process to make this wine and stuff, and so I was kind of surprised that and I don't know if that's the new the new restructuring of the organization now that's taken over by Navigator. There was a lot on the Navigator background, the story about it, but even their labels, their wines, they had 10 different labels, acclaimed, and some of these other ones. I couldn't find anything. So I think they're still in the process of coming up with their material and stuff, but this label still has the Precision Wine Company label. So the wine company has been folded into Navigator, but he's still got the winery. Trevor Sheehan still has Precision Winery. All right. So what do you get from the aromas?
Cabernet.
No, it's
Not much.
well,
Strawberries.
I smell some red, really dark cherry, dark cherry, and but very, very nice. I think it's a very nice fragrance to it. And
Yeah, dark cherry, even with the taste.
wow,
Yep,
that
that's
is a
nice.
nice taste.
That's a good Cabernet. And how many points did you say? Got 89,
You got
88?
89 from Wine Enthusiast. Gave it a good review. They and Suckling gave it 90 points. James Suckling, but it tastes like a more medium than bold Cabernet. It's got surprisingly strong fruit flavors, and usually Cabernets are dark enough you can't see your fingers through the glass. This one you can. So it's let's see, the alcohol level is 14.5%, very hefty on the alcohol, but it's typical.
Consistent all the way through. There's no surprise at the aftertaste. It's from the minute it hits to the finish, it's the same. Nothing surprises me there.
It's got some tannic grip, but they're polished. They're nice and smooth, polished, and a little pepper.
For a Cabernet, yeah.
Yeah, it's got that pepper. Usually these Cabernets, sometimes they have that little green pepper, bell pepper taste too and stuff, and aroma. There's a hint of that.
Yeah, this is more smoother though.
Yes.
It doesn't have the snap, but it's a nice.
Very fruity up front. And once again, don't equate fruitiness with sweetness. It does that. That's why it would have been interesting to see what kind of oak, and how long this sits in oak, because sometimes they can over oak these Cabernets and it becomes vanilla. You get a lot of vanilla taste. You don't get this with this wine. You get a nice smooth. Like Mike says, the texture's nice, and I think this would be a great addition to your cookout, your barbecued steaks, chops.
And it certainly doesn't cost what a 95-point Cabernet is going to set you back.
Yeah, and it was interesting when I called this up on a couple of things. You could do your own research on the internet. I mean, in some places it came up $25 and $29 a bottle, and then Vivino had it at a value buy at $19.99. Like I said, Costco has it now, and it also has the Navigator up there, and I think the Navigator was $27. I had never seen Navigator before. That might be my next buy to taste that wine. But I tell you, this surely for under $20 a bottle, I think it's just like Costco was promoting it.
Another
good value Cabernet from a top appellation. Alexander Valley, is one of the top, if not the best, in Sonoma County for Cabernets, and as you get along that north coast, that's where the great Pinot Noirs come from. The Sonoma County, the north coast, because it's cooler, closest to the water, those vineyards and stuff, and it gets that moderation from the ocean. But Mike, I think this was a good buy.
When you mentioned California, there, remember a couple of years ago, in 2020, they had all those serious wildfires out there, which tainted some of the grapes. Now they got fires out there again. Is this going to hurt the grapes, you think, this year, or they're not going
Certainly,
to
the
be
question
harvested?
is, you know,
Some of them?
well, it depends the intensity of fire, which direction the smoke blows, how big,
Right.
because you know that's what really it got so close to the vineyards a couple of years ago and settled in. You know, on the vines that a lot of the winemakers just you know wouldn't put it in a bottle. They didn't want to ruin their reputations
Throw up their hands.
because
Yeah.
the smoke and could permeate even the skins, you know, and get into the juice, and they don't want to take that chance. Now, it's interesting to note that a lot of studies have been done. California, UCal Davis, they've done a lot of good work on just what is the damage done by smoke taint and how much does it have to be in the vineyard, okay, to really ruin the grape, because they lost billions of dollars. Some of these small wineries either went out of business or had to remortgage. They lost the whole, you know, they only, the smaller vineyards only have limited production. They had to throw it all away. Once again, they didn't want to put bad fruit out there, but they didn't know it was so much uncertainty. And you know, so now it's almost they have developed these machines. They're almost like smoke taint meters and stuff. You know, they do a lot of work. So while it is very important, especially for the consumer, okay, there are things like everything else. You know, I mean, you see a fruit can and you know in market basket, a tin can, you see a little dent in it. Some people won't buy it, you know, because they say, oh, that's damaged inside and stuff, and yet it's on the shelf, you know. So I think they're very reputable. The winemakers, they don't want to ruin and damage their you know, their reputation, their product. It's a commodity. So I leave it up to them and the experts to decide. Are there some unscrupulous people? There probably are, like there is in everything else. But most of the time, these vintners work hard. They're not going to screw up their business, although they can't get hurt. So my you know, the smoke that's come over New England, the last, you know, it's from Canada. It's come down, and so the wind drives it. It diffuses it, you know, as it hits the jet stream. But it is a very important and unfortunately thing that you have to, you know, be aware of. And I think the regulation process, the self-regulation process that takes place in California, Washington State has had terrible fires and stuff and things. So I think you have to be mindful of it, but I don't think any reputable firm is going to put out a bad product.
Yeah.
And if you do taste it, you're going to know right off the bat, you know. Take the bottle back. If you think it's tainted, you just put the cork back in it, take it back to your where you bought it, and I'm sure that they'll make good on it.
Yeah.
Okay? Does that answer the question?
Boy, fully.
Okay. So what would you give 10 to Life for a rating? What would you think? Is it a...
Probably what it got. Yeah, it's justifiable.
Yeah.
Certainly no better for Cabernet, but probably no worse either. You know, 88 is the base of a good wine. 87. So yeah.
I think
and, And when you figure in the price of it, one of those can't go wrong for a Cabernet for $20. Come on, that's...
Usually, you know, the Cabernets that I drink, they're big, robust, and a lot of black, you know, black fruits and black raspberry and stuff. This has a nice blend of the dark cherry, the big dark cherry red fruit, and there's a presence of those black fruits. But I think you'd really like it because for those people who don't, you know, who get overwhelmed by the big bold taste of Cabernets and the tannic qualities, this has got a nice smooth flow to it. It's nice texture on your palate. I like this wine. I think I'm going to buy more of it. You know. So look for it at Costco, $19.99 right now. It's a good deal, and in some of the larger stores. So, Mike.
On to horsepower.
On to horsepower. Why don't you tell us a little about horsepower?
Well, I remember being over at the Pergola one night, and you opened a bottle of that, and you told me what you paid for it. And, of course, I never go there, but that high. And then we tasted it, and a major disappointment. And it surprised me. And we met with the sommelier, Grill 23 in Boston, for an interview when you took a bottle down, and he tasted it, and he said, well, that's what Syrah should taste like. He said, it's tar, it's this and that, but the burnt rubber is that. I'm saying to myself, oh my God, who wants to drink that? And that's what it tasted like. But now you tell me you opened that one of those same bottles the other night, and it's evolved into something special. So I don't know.
So the background on this is in 2013, I think it was 2012. I read a story about this great winemaker from France, Christopher Baron, who had identified an area in Walla Walla, Washington. That's where Drew Bledsoe's winery is, but it's right on the Oregon line. And it was a very, very rocky outcropping where no one else had basically seen the same things that Christopher Baron had seen. And he was going to develop a vineyard there. And this was the story. I mean, he come from France. He worked in Bordeaux and Burgundy. He was known for producing these outrageously great Bordeaux wines, Syrah, Cabernet Franc, Cabernet Sauvignon, and he identified this spot. And everybody, some people said, "Wow, this could be a good thing, could turn out to be a bad thing for him." But he found this piece of land, and he bought it, and he started it, and he developed horsepower, and he did it in a reduction style. When he made these wines, reduction style, that means they limit the oxidation. The oxygen doesn't come in contact in the fermentation vessels with the wine, and what that does is it creates the natural expression of what Syrah, Grenache. He deals with Grenache and Syrah. Those are the two grapes that he makes exclusively, okay, in Walla Walla and stuff. So I read this story and I said, "Gee, I got to get some of this horsepower."
And you got some.
Well, and so I applied to be on the allocation list. Took me 6 years to be accepted. He had less than a 1,000 subscribers. The production was limited. Some of these bottles he only produced like less than 1,000 bottles of his first wines. These vines were very, very young. I think when I purchased my first horsepower in 2015, well, the vintage was 15. I got on the list in 2019. So every bottle costs $120. You can't mix and match. It's $120. They tell you what you can purchase. You could only buy 3 bottles of each wine they produce because production is so limited. So I was limited to buy, I think they offered me 3 different wines. I bought all 3, and I got 9 bottles. A Grenache, the Syrah from Sir Etchelis, or a vineyard, and there was the 2 other vineyards that he had set up really, really small. So I bought the wine, but once again, it was an age-worthy wine. They tell you right up front, these are wines to be cellared. They're done in the old world style, like France. Now, I was still a very naive and a wine novice. I really didn't understand all of this. I was taking my classes in Boston, learning more and more about the production process. You know what? Maybe at the time I shouldn't have gotten involved in horsepower because, I was looking for wines that, you could open and drink right off the bat. Because Mike and I, the first time, I was so excited. The horsepower came in 3 bottles. per case, a little wooden box.
Impressive.
Very impressive with a screw. You had this a screwdriver, take off the screw, and then you take off the top, and these bottles were all wrapped, beautiful, nice. I couldn't wait to open one, right? So I think it was maybe that spring 2020. Oh, we got to try this. Mike and I poured a glass. First of all, we smelled it. What is this? They sent me bad wine, $120 a bottle. And then we tasted, we put it in our mouth. You couldn't even swallow it, right?
Yeah.
You couldn't even swallow it.
I didn't like it at all.
Yeah. So, oh my God, what did I do?
And that's tough telling you, who paid all this money, that you don't like your wine.
So then we went to the Grill 23 to meet, and I forget his name. He was a
Irish name, Byron Akoff.
He was a world-class master. He was not only a master sommelier, he was from the court of master sommeliers, which takes years to accomplish all that and get. There was only at the time like 240 master sommeliers across the world. He was one of them. He was one of the youngest. And I did an interview with him, and then I said, "Can you do me a favor and taste this bottle of wine?" I took the wine with us, and well, he didn't rave about it. He says, "Wow, this is the classic style, what Syrah is." He says, "This wine is done in reductive style, oxidized. It's going to take years, but this wine will eventually, be fabulous." And he said, Christopher Barron, the guy, is a master at it, so you got to be patient with this. And I looked at Mike and says, "We only got so many years to go
before it comes around."
Yeah. So over this past weekend, I was talking to Mike. He says, "What are you going to do with that horsepower?" And I says, "Yeah, I know. I got to either do it, sell it, or cut bait or whatever." So I went down to the cellar. I mean, the box is a beautiful look. I took out all the bottles. I picked this one from 2015, the Syrah. Looked up the review on it at the time. It got like 97 points from Venice, and I kept rereading the review, and it says, "Jesus, what is it all about?" Then I opened it. Look at the color, the purple.
Deep as can be. Yeah.
Now you can't see your hand underneath this glass. It looks powerful. And it smells powerful. Now the fragrance has changed. It used to smell like wet newspaper or something. It was. Now you're getting that fruit. Could you believe it? Now this is how wines change, which also gives me confidence in my cellar because I check the humidity. I get fans down there. I keep it close to the light and stuff. Actually, the wine goddess, she did it for me. She made it for me. Had a builder come in and put the brick up and all this other stuff. So I'm saying to myself, wow, could this have evolved that much? So it's a 2015. It's been in bottle for 10 years. 10 years. Okay. It is changing. It is. So I'm grilling. I opened the bottle up, put it on the shelf, and I went and grilled 2 fillets out on the deck. My wife, the wine goddess, she comes out on the deck. She's got a bottle of the glass of red in her hand, and she says, "Where did you get this wine? Where did you get this wine? It's fabulous." I thought she was going to say, "This was thrown away. It's junk." She says, "This is fabulous." I says, "What?" And I tasted it. I says, "Oh my God. Oh my God." I says, and I tell her the story. This is the wine Mike and I couldn't even drink, and 6 years ago, and I thought it was going to be like a total loss and stuff. And then I tasted it, decanted it, and because I took the cork off it to breathe, and that's how she saw it, that it was open. And you know what? With that fillet, it was absolutely unbelievable. And now, so it's been sitting, I had it decanted. I poured the wine back into the bottle for the show, and I wanted Mike to taste it. So, did you taste it?
Well, I'm certainly not going to give you the reaction I gave you the first time I had it. It has changed considerably. to me, the nose still is a little different, than other wines. Of course, I'm not a Syrah's drinker anyway, so I don't know what to really look for here. But
Syrah. Yeah.
Syrah,
So what do you think? It's
well, I'm going back for a second and third slip because I haven't kind of like figured it out. But it's
it is a different tasting wine.
It is
that
like
we're not used to.
Amarone is a different tasting wine too, a little bit.
But yes, and I'm not making excuses for it because I'm not really totally prepared for it. But it's when they say the old world style.
It has its own taste.
Yes, this is how they make it in France, the traditional winemakers and stuff. I mean, they understand Syrah better than we do. We takes the oaky version of Syrah. We definitely couldn't put this out to the American public and say, buy this at $120 a bottle on the shelf.
Yeah.
This is for more sophisticated palates. It's a complex wine.
Lets me out. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, could I drink this every night? And only now am I realizing the different taste that the grapes.
Yes.
I mean, I've got Drew Bledsoe Syrah, Stolen Horse, which I love. What a difference. I mean, that's been oaked, modernized. They put the different. They create a different kind of wine for their population. This wine is done, like I said, for wine drinkers.
Sophisticated.
Well, seeking complexity, seeking that old world style. So it is quite different. But I am just glad
that it's usable now, drinkable.
That it is drinkable. It is continuing to emerge, to evolve, and you learn something from that. It's a wine that Christopher Barron wanted to produce in America, like the old style. Certainly, it has its followers because horsepower is still very, very difficult to crack that allocation list. And I dropped out after 2 years because I said, why am I going to wait all this time for this wine? And I really didn't understand it at the time. Now I do. I still have, I think, 15, 16 bottles of it. But I know that it's going to, the Grenache is one of my favorite grapes. I think I'll open up one of those and see what that tastes like. This is Syrah. So the point is, there are wines out there that are made for different segments of the wine consuming public or collectors. This is a collectible wine. It has a lot more value among collectors and certainly people who appreciate Syrah, old style Syrah, and that natural expression of the grape.
What year is this?
This is 2015.
So if someone were to buy tomorrow a 2020, they should not open it right away. They should let it age, I think, a little bit more.
Yes.
Hold it.
Unless they love
to
that.
Get it to taste like that. Oh no,
harsh,
they wouldn't
tannic,
like that. They wouldn't like that.
Taste Syrah. But isn't it funny how reviewers who reviewed this wine in 2015 tasted that syrupy,
wet cardboard taste.
Yes, and knew that this wine was a winner.
It would evolve.
That it would evolve. See, that's what gets me.
They're
about
specialists. They're specialists.
Yes, they're specialists. They understand. They know the character because there was a lot of whetstone minerality.
It's very drinkable
saltiness.
now.
It's still got that funky finish. It goes from you get a little more fruit now in it. And that's another thing. You would think as the wine gets older, the fruit flavors would recede. That's the normal procedure.
Yeah, no.
Well, no, all that funkiness is now receding, and the fruit is coming forward. It's amazing. I mean, when you think about it, but it's still got that grippy, tannic taste at the end there. I'm warming up to it. But it's got to be
We never warmed up to it when we opened the first bottle.
No,
you
but you know
couldn't.
what?
You couldn't.
with that meaty. There's a lot of meat flavors in this.
Yeah.
You know, and with the meat, the
Hit it off.
fillet,
It hit it off with
it
that.
hit it off, and I'm just glad my wife really liked it. So that's good. But yeah, it's not for everyone. You know, I don't even know if it's for me. But at $120 a bottle.
It's for you. Yeah. Well, you have a little more belief in the investment you make.
And as I was telling Mike before, because there was only limited bottles produced of this every year. I mean, the bottle I paid $120 for. I saw on the internet it was going for over $400.
Can you believe it? Isn't that something? So there's people,
Crazy.
you know, it's
Yeah. So anyway, well, that's it. That's it for now. So you get the young, you get the old, different tastes, different production process, and you know, it's wine is interesting.
It's a lot of money to spend on a bottle that, if you've never tried it and you just are curious, it's a lot of money to spend on a wine that in your mind you're going to say, I probably won't like it.
Yeah.
But you might. So
well, it goes back to the point. I always tell people you should taste the wine before you buy it.
Definitely.
And
this
before
wine,
you
definitely.
join, you know, an allocation list, like when I joined Drew Bledsoe's allocation list and also Long Shadows. I still am club members. I've been club members for over 10 years. I tasted those wines. I tasted them out in Washington State. I love them. This I never tasted. I bought it, you know, sight unseen, based on, you know, what I read about it and stuff. But I clearly wasn't at that time in my wine career. Wasn't ready for it. You know, wasn't ready for it, and didn't fully understand the story behind it and the power of the wine. But Christopher Barron is one of the best winemakers in the world. He obviously he does have a very strong following, and he deserves it. So until next week's show. Until next week's show.
Week after next.
Well, week after next.
Whatever.
Next show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Salute.
Grill to your heart's content and
There you
enjoy.
go.
And have some nice red wine.